Rep Fitness is once again late to the party with their articulating arms, but has the best been saved for last? The No Fake channel, checking in. Jonathan here with another home gym week in review that I release every month. Now, I gather all the pertinent information for you home gym introverts into one high-paced video.
In the office, baby.
For those of you with ultra small home gym spaces, but you still want everything, the kitchen sink, and oh, by the way, a Smith machine too. Rep Fitness just said bet. Rep Fitness, out of the blue, has now released their Summit all-in-one trainer. You can get this with an Aries, you can get this with an Athena, and you can get it wall mounted. And this is an interesting release. Not only did I not even know this thing was coming, but they have basically taken their beloved power rack, the PR5000, and they've now squished it down because so many people, they want everything in their home gym, but they just don't have the space. And this Summit series seems to deliver everything you could possibly want. You can get this with the Aries, the Athena, wall mounted, and it delivers a Smith machine. So what's the difference between this PR5000 and their previous standardized one? And that is the cross members. The original ones were 30 inches. These are 26 inches. And yes, 26 is smaller than 30 inches, so you get a much more compact unit. 4 inches doesn't seem like much, but in a home gym, it absolutely is. You're able to get the entire Aries or the Athena, and you get that Smith machine inside your rack. On top of that, you still get to have this half rack version, but as you can imagine, it isn't cheap. Now, thankfully, with the Smith machine, you can pick the knurling. Obviously, we're strong. We want to go with the weight stack upgrade, and you can pick your attachments. Now, I spoke with Rep Fitness's customer service, who is awesome. And I said, what's going on with these rear feet? Because you're buying this thing to save space, but then you've got to get these weird rear feet. Two things. Number one, you technically don't need these rear feet, especially if you've got the extra weight on the side and the increased weight stack and the front feet. So if you've got all that, you don't need the rear feet. But two, if you do use the rear feet, it's actually not taking up that much space because if you have plate storage, you need to have clearance. You can't just slam this thing up against the wall. I think for maximum space savings, you would get something like this and skip the weight storage, and that would allow you to put this thing right up against the wall. But this bad boy ain't cheap. Coming in right now, as you see here, $6,200. Whew.
Shut up and take my money.
And for a steal of a deal, for only $300 more, you can actually get stainless steel in the uprights and the cross members. That's actually not a bad deal. It sounds like it, but it really isn't. I'd probably go stainless steel if I was going to be buying this thing. You're already committed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is this thing an awesome release for those of you that are tight on space and you want everything in the kitchen sink plus a Smith machine? Or is it really a niche product for people with very specific wants and very specific layouts? Now, personally, I always love more options for the consumer. It allows everybody to find something that fits them specifically, and you don't have to do some DIY Frankenstein setup to get it to fit to your space ideally. The only caveat I would argue with this Summit series is that many of you aren't going to use the Smith machine. I know, influencers are everywhere trying to tell you to buy them, how great they are, and yes, they are fantastic for bodybuilding exercises, but I will tell you there are tons of people that just say they like them, but they just happen to never use them in their programming. So before you go out and buy any type of Smith machine, I would argue, make sure it's something you have used in the past and you want to use going forward, because hey, it's an additional $1,000 and it limits the type of setup you can have with your rack. And here's a product I've been enjoying, the Grip Globe 2.0. Hypertrophy by Design is the company. Their original version I really liked. The only complaint I had was that there was no knurling on the handle for my massive hands. Well, they went ahead and they fixed that. They corrected that. You now get some really nice knurling, just enough grip to lock your hand in. And they increase the diameter to 38 millimeters. So this is perfect for your hand, but if you also have some fat grips, those will work on here as well. It now comes in 3 different colors, and there's of course a brand new coupon code for those of you that like to save money. Code You guessed it, no fade 24/7. As far as how you use this bad boy, you simply load up the weight on here.
And it feels different. It feels fantastic.
And then you are able to rotate your wrist out as well as rotate your wrist in. Now, when I'm getting after that gorilla grip, I make sure to isolate my arm. I put my hand either on the top of a vertical adjustable bench, or I'll put it on the top of my squat safety bar so that I'm able, when I'm rotating my wrist, to work my wrist and my forearm and not just my upper shoulder. Now, this thing can handle 90 pounds, but forget that. You aren't gonna touch 90 pounds. For me, I'm usually around 5 to 7.5 pounds. When I'm feeling super heavy, I'll go to 10, and I'm not doing double-digit reps. I'm just literally forcing it through that motion on such a low weight. So for you, who I know, at least YouTube has told me, isn't even strong enough to hit that subscribe button, this thing is gonna be plenty heavy for you. But if you happen to be a grayback gorilla, it can handle 90 pounds. The real irony is when I actually use this in my training, and that's on leg day. Reason being is I've got these long rest periods when I'm squatting and I want to have something to do with them. And of course, I don't want to be lazy, but I don't want to also be doing burpees in between squat sessions. So I load this thing up, I got my safety squat bar, and then I just put my wrist over it and go to work. But I want to know from all of you, home gym introverts, how are you training your forearms, if at all, on a weekly basis? Do you have grippers? Do you just skip training forearms and know that you're going to get tons of forearm work with your bench press and your deadlift and everything else in between? Or do you got some funky toys that I haven't even heard of? I'll tell you, for a while, I didn't even know this thing existed, but I'm glad I found it. Is COOP finally leaving Garage Gym Reviews? That's actually a question that Gluck from Gluck's Gym answered in one of his recent Instagram stories.
So this one is interesting. If you've seen Massonomic's video where they kind of talk about their perceived changes in what's going on at GGR, you know, less content, COOP more, I don't know, active on his home gym COOP social media. You know, there's little changes there, but I will say, how do I say this? Knowing exactly, or knowing a lot of what's going on, I've had some conversations. I do have an idea of what's going on, but one, it's not my story to tell. Two, anything we say is just us making guesses. So until I do eventually make a statement on this, and I will, you know, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
Because I have exactly zero insider information, I can give you my opinion without letting the cats out of the bag. But let's give you some background information. COOP from Garage Gym Reviews does not own Garage Gym Reviews. He doesn't own the channel, the website, or any of that. He sold this a number of years ago to Pillar 4 Media. And I have to imagine, although I don't know, that when he sold it, he signed his name that he would stay on for a number of years as the figurehead for the channel. And he has been doing a lot less on the channel and a lot more on his own personal Instagram account. And I have to imagine that's his way of prepping for the next stage. And I'm guessing that his contract is almost up, or at the very least up for negotiation. So he's prepping for the next stage in his life should that contract either expire or they don't want to pay him as much as he thinks he's due. Keep in mind, COOP is not just smart when it comes to home gym equipment. He's a very intelligent man. His previous YouTube channel was actually business oriented, and he is very learned with regards to knowledge about books, about business, about creating marketing and hype. And frankly, you can see that because he jackrabbited his Instagram page from 0 to 100,000 in what seems like pretty fast fashion. Do I think we'll see COOP from Garage Gym Reviews step away from the main channel? Absolutely. Whether that's this year or next, I think it's just a matter of time. He has a number of wonderful children. He's a great father. I'm sure he wants to spend more time with his kids as they get older, because this is that sweet spot where the kids actually want you around. They want you to be part of their lives in terms of sports and academics. My kids are at a great age, but I know it's only a few more years before they want nothing to do with me. So maybe he just wants a little more more time at home. Maybe he's got something cooking behind the scene. Maybe he wants to start a brand new YouTube channel about the massive piece of property he has since moved on to and is now building out with regards to his home gym and everything else under the sun. Comment down below, do you think COOP is leaving Garage Gym Reviews? Rep Fitness seems to be late boarding the hype train when it comes to all of their releases lately, and their articulating arms are no different. While companies are currently putting out their second iteration of these pivot arms, these articulating arms, these tornado arms, Rep Fitness has been slowly working on their first version, and it looks like it's pretty close to being released, with their current release that they teased out having longer articulating arms, and what's I think the most important thing that people don't realize, it had less slop. When you've got those pivot points, the more points you add, the more give, the more like crap tolerances you kind of risk putting in there, and it can feel nasty, it can feel sloppy when you go to use it. The fact that these things are tight is a nice feature, and I'm glad that they did that. They also added a squeeze pin. Instead of like a pop pin to adjust these up and down, it seems like you just squeeze it and then move it up and down. A lot nicer, a lot different than what we've seen lately. And if their Smith machine release has taught us anything, taking your time might be the right play. Being first gets you hype, but being the best gets you longevity. And I've got only two questions when it comes to these articulating arms, and that is, when are they gonna ship? Because time's a ticking and we want them now. And how much are they going to cost? Now, what does it actually cost for you to use the affiliate links in the description? Exactly. Fringe Sport is in the news again. Their beloved owner, Peter Keller, the #1 stunner, the guy doing backflips in his Speedo, sent out a massive email warning all of the Fringe Sport customers that prices are going up because of tariffs. He went into some serious depth about how it's impacting the community, especially Fringe Sport, and he even went on some podcasts, which I'll link in the description, so that he could kind of even go further into depth, talking about how it's impacting the pricing and how it's impacting his hiring process and everything that they do. And yes, clearly tariffs are impacting not just the home gym community, but the country in general, but the home gym community, who notoriously buys most of their stuff over in the People's Republic of overseas, is taking it on the chin excessively. I want you all to take a step back and don't think that Fringe Sport is hurting all that much. Why? They still have enough clearance in their pricing to be smashing your inbox and sending you blitzed text messages about their latest sales and the limited time and the limited quantity. And oh, by the way, they do it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Now, I don't want you to fret. I don't want you to fuss. Peter Keller's mansion in Texas and all of his sports cars are in good standing. He's not going to have to sell those in order to make ends meet. Why? Because he can still drop $350 off the Dane 2.0 while supplies last. All right. Enough bashing Peter Keller and Fringe Sport. I love Peter. I like Fringe Sport. They've actually had some pretty interesting releases lately, and they've actually gone into discussion about how they're going to stop making cookie cutter white label products and try to make stuff that is original to their brand and something that is a little bit more out of the box thinking versus just copying the latest trend or the latest craze. And frankly, I think a lot of their releases have been pretty solid. I don't think they're going to ever be the lowest cost provider of home gym equipment. They're not gunning for that. Like everybody else in the world, they've got a marketing strategy and they play to their strengths. So they keep their prices, what I consider high, they keep their prices high in order to be able to smash you with those sales. Because subconsciously, when you see that this thing is like 25% off, plus you get a bonus item, plus you get this or that, or you get a $350 credit for a future purchase, it pulls you in, and it does a really good job, and I think that's part of their marketing. We saw that with Titan Fitness, and we see the opposite of that with Rep Fitness. They throw almost no sales, no discounts. The price is the price, whether you like it or not. At the end of the day, regardless of whether the Supreme Court shuts down these tariffs or not, home gym prices are going up either way, and the home gym company marketing teams are 100% undefeated. Freak Athlete, a company that I absolutely love. Not only do they make some really good, well-designed, highly engineered products that are out of the box thinking for those of you with small home gyms, which is the majority of us. We don't have these massive football field type gyms. Many of us are working out in small apartments. You need every little inch you can save, and that's what Freak Athlete does. But they go the extra mile in a number of ways. They have a great returns policy on their product. They let you use these things for like months at a time, and if it doesn't fit your needs, it doesn't tickle your pickle, you can go ahead and you can return it, and it's literally like no questions asked, which is kind of crazy. On top of that, they are extremely transparent. I'll give you a prime example. On this ABX bench that I got in, I got all of their attachments. I went all in, whole hog. Well, they've got a bicep preacher curl attachment that hasn't arrived yet. Well, did they just kind of forget to tell me about it? Did they just like, oh, by the way, it's going to be a little late. Sorry, not sorry. No, they sent out a massive email stating that they screwed up, that they dropped the ball, that the error was 100% on them, that issues were out of their control, but they take full ownership of it, and it is going to be arriving late, but they're going to be letting us know exactly when it ships. They provided dates, and they're going to be providing tracking numbers, and that's how you do it. When you have a product that's showing up late, when you're under-delivering on your promises, you don't hide, you don't sulk away, you don't hope that nobody notices. You get out in front of it, and you make it right, and you just kind of basically take ownership.
Are you eagerly awaiting Rep Fitness's articulating arms, or has another company already gotten your money? Drop a comment down below. The other thing that you can do if you are interested in more home gym equipment reviews, check out these two videos. Hit the subscribe button, use the affiliate links, and as usual, don't save anything for the trip back.